Matt, last year, about this time, I was interested. I'm always interested in the 70s, being a child of the 70s, and it was amazing to me all the different types of things that they made available back then. One of which was silver dollars from a hoard that was found by the government, by the General Services Administration. And I hear that you have brought us some really tasty information about the GSA hoard.
Yeah, oh yeah. GSAs in the coin shop are one of the most favorite things I run into, and it's simply because I just love the darn things. They're really cool. It's one of the promotional things I used to use back in the 70s. It said the coins that Jesse James never got, and they use this to promote the coins, to promote the hoard that they found. And I just kind of wanted to inform people that maybe didn't know a little about the hoard. Um, in the early 60s and even into the mid 60s, as the government was kind of winding down the silver certificate program, where you could take a silver certificate dollar to the bank and trade it in for a silver dollar, um, they ended that program in 1964. And at this time, the government had a large supply of original silver dollars, and it turns out that they had over 3 million coins, um, most of which were Carson City actually minted coins, in their possession. And they took these coins. Actually, the coins sat around for several years, and they didn't really start processing them until 1971. And they decided that they were going to package the coins up individually and sell them. And they were going to sell them to the public through a series of mail bid sales. And the hoard contained, um, like I said, about 3 million coins, uh, all but about 125,000 of which were Carson City graded coins, and they had dates ranging from 1878 to 1885. And then there was a gap. They didn't find any markable numbers of 89s, which we'll cover later. Um, but they found 90s and 91s. And it was really a strange hoard because some of the coins before they discovered this hoard were actually kind of scarce. Like for example, the 1885 Carson City silver dollar has a mintage of 228,000 coins, and up until the discovery of the hoard, these were really scarce coins to get. But in the hoard, they actually found about 65% of the total mintage of the 1885 Carson City coin, which was 148,300 pieces. So immediately, this coin became much more common overnight almost with the discovery of the hoard. Some other notable numbers are of the 1884 Carson City dollars, which they made 1.136 million coins. They discovered over 84% of the entire mintage in the GSA hoard. They discovered 962,000 coins. So this was a massive hoard. I think it was over 3,000 sealed bags of coins. Um, so the government decided that in 1972 they were going to have mail bid sales where basically they told you the minimum amount that it was going to cost you to get a silver dollar, and if you wanted to pay more than that, you could and have a chance at getting a better date, or you could just pay that minimum and you'll get whatever you get. And it met with, uh, well, how do you say, limited or a lukewarm response from the public, and they offered the coins for sale on a first come first served basis. So the people that paid the higher bids obviously got the better date coins, which in the hoard were the 1879, which they only discovered 4,100 pieces of, the 1890, which they discovered 3,950 pieces of, and the 1891, which they discovered 5,700 pieces. Uh, the rest of them they discovered at least 60 to almost a million pieces of each. So those coins lasted a lot longer. The better date coins were sold out within the first two sales. And then after that, the other coins took a lot longer to get rid of, and they weren't met with such great fanfare because they were deemed to be much more common. Uh,
Can I ask a real quick question?
sure.
You know, you were talking about people were able to place bids on the coins. Were they aware of the dates that they were bidding on,
I believe they
or
were. I believe that through their advertising, it was that they made aware. They made it public to the people of what dates they had found. But the mail bid, they really didn't make it. You didn't get to pick which date you were bidding on. It was your bid determined which date you were eligible for,
so
and
the
they
government basically decided which ones people would get? They figured out which ones they had the fewest of,
the
and did
highest
it
bid.
basic
Yep, the highest
got the
bid would get the
got the
few.
one with the fewest.
Yes. So, and that's how they did the sale. After the first five mail bid sales, they were still left with about 1 million Carson City coins. So they sold quite a few in the first mail bid sales. Um, and these and the last sale ended in 1974. And at this point, like I said, they had 1 million coins left, and they actually lay dormant until 1979, when the president signed into legislation that the remaining coins were going to be sold at a set price. Now, in the early 80s, as we know, the silver market was very crazy. So there were a couple things that angered collectors that happened. Um, they uh, they set a price for the coins, and I'm not exactly sure what the set price was, but just a month before the coins were set to be um, bid on, they actually retracted the minimum price because silver was going up. So a lot of people either A, didn't get this information, or B, you know, didn't bother to take the proper steps to make sure that they were going to get their coins. So a lot of people sent their minimum bids in, and they were actually not not given any coin because the price had been changed and they were not aware of it. So this angered collectors quite a lot, and also they to get rid of the coins. Originally, they had set a 500 coin minimum on the second sale. The first sale, you were only allowed to order one of each date. So the minimum amount of coins you could get was, you know, what, 10? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could get 10 coins minimum, or maximum, I'm sorry. And your bids had to be according. So the second sale, they originally offered a 500 coin or maximum. And just 13 days before the sale started, they were getting so much fanfare that they actually lowered that from 500 to 35 coins. So people that wanted, quantity of these coins were unable to get them. Um, Now, and as the coins came out, they started to trickle into the numismatic community. They started to see them at coin shows, and a lot of these coins in the 80s were actually cracked out of their original holders. Um, I've heard rumors of coins, of it being so loud in some coin shows from dealers cracking these coins out that it was hard to hear. And I've also heard reports of seeing giant trash cans just full of broken GSA packaging because these coins, because it was very bulky. The packaging was very bulky for the dealers to carry with them. So as they bought these coins at shows, they would crack them out and put them in rolls, or two by two them and put them in boxes, make it much easier to transport. So a lot of the coins were actually cracked out of their original holder. And also with the advent of third-party grading, that also uh, lended to even more coins being cracked out of the holders uh, and sent into the grading companies. So I would, just as an estimate, I would probably say that at least half of the coins issued from the GSA hoard have been cracked out of their holders already today. And coins with exceptional color were probably some of the first ones to go. And that's the one thing about the GSA hoard was a lot of the coins came out of the collection with color. They sat in bags for many years and toned beautifully. So a lot of the coins that were pretty actually were cracked out first and sent in to the grading companies. Um, Now, today, the coins are actually graded by the grading companies in a couple of different ways. Um, the 125,000 extra coins that they had ranged in grades from coals to uncirculated coins of various mint marks. They were packaged in what we call soft packs, which are very similar to mint sets, the cellophane packaging that you get for mint sets.
They
And they
really look like the blue package
Eisenhower's.
Ikes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was going to say. They look like blue Eisenhower's almost because they were packaged in that same period. So they're very, very similar. And they have an envelope on the front that just says United States silver dollar. And on the inside is a package that shows a sealed silver dollar and then a sealed token that says General Services Administration. Now, NGC encapsulates these flat packs today in a holder that almost looks like one of the currency holders that they would use. And I actually bet you it's the same thing that their currency grading division uses.
So
Now,
they preserve the original packaging when they.
they do. They do. It's like it's very similar to putting a blue ike inside one of the inside one of the currency things, but they preserve the original cellophane packaging so that you can see the coin. Um, and they also grade they use a stickering system to grade the original packaging in the hard packs. Um, and it's they grade the coin and then they sticker it that it's been certified as this grade and they return it to you. Now another cool thing about the GSA hoard was they did package some of the remaining 125,000 coins in what's called United States silver dollar packages, where they look very similar to the GSA hard pack, but instead of saying Carson City silver dollar, they say United States silver dollar. And this was an uncirculated coin from a different mint besides Carson City. Could have been Philadelphia, San Francisco, or New Orleans. And they would have packaged these coins up in a similar box with a little bit different paperwork than the other GSA coins.
Yeah, they
And,
didn't have the serial number on them. It's one of the easiest ways to tell them.
yeah, yeah, the paperwork did not have any kind of serial number on it whatsoever. And they were delivered in that same similar mail bid sale. Um, just as kind of I'm not sure exactly what bid got you one of these. If it was a low bid or a little bit higher bid, I just don't know. Um, but they did deliver those coins as well to folks. And maybe there was a space they could check that they didn't care what kind of mint mark they got. I'm not sure. I haven't. I'd love to get my hands on one of the original order forms. That would be a really neat piece to see. Um, but yeah, and that's how they delivered the coins from the hoard. Today you can collect. They're really fun to collect because some of the dates that were contained in the hoard, like the 1880, for example, there's tons of different varieties in that particular coin. There's a lot of the 80 over 79s. The varieties of those are in. A lot of those coins were found in the hoard, so you can look through, uh, 80s to see if you can find some 80 over 79s. There's a couple of little bit scarcer VAMs that come through in some of the other dates. The one thing that has always, though, been kind of curious to me is that there is a report that one 1889, one 1892, and one 1893 were found to be uncirculated in this hoard. Just one piece of each. And they are encapsulated into GSA boxes. A coin dealer, and I've seen this coin, a coin dealer owns the 1889 Carson City, and it has been graded by NGC as MS62 deep mirror proof-like. Um, and the 1892 and the 1893 are owned by the same collector, and they have not been certified by NGC. Um, Now, the question is, how the heck did these coins get into the hoard, and how the heck did just one of them get in there? Um, there's been some speculation over the years that they were original to the hoard. There was some speculation that some of the coin dealers that the government brought in to help process the hoard maybe brought in their own coins and put them in the hoard, in order to profit from being able to purchase them in a later date
No,
in the government
no.
packaging. Yeah. So there's a lot of speculation um, that that's what happened. But we really will never know. They do exist. You just never know with something like that. The one last thing I wanted to address was PCGS does grade some of these coins. They do not leave them in their original packaging. They will crack them out of the black GSA holder, but they will be noted on their slab that they are GSA hoard coins. Um, and that's just how
NG,
I'm sorry.
NGC doesn't do that, or
They,
do they
I'm sure
not
they
note it?
did in the past before because they started the stickering system on the GSAs. I believe in the around 93, maybe 94 or 95, grading those coins. So I'm sure before that time, I've never personally seen one, but I'm sure before that time that they may have done some sort of labeling,
I
special
would want.
labeling on their holders.
I would wonder what they would do with a crossover coin from PCGS.
It's very possible. I'm not sure if they just didn't label them at all. I do not know for sure. I'm not sure if the fact that PCGS labels them as GSA today um, doesn't mean that they did in that period. So they may not have. Um, it's hard to say. I've never, like I said, I've never personally seen a GSA dollar labeled that in a standard NGC slab. PCGS, obviously, I've seen them. They exist. I own a couple. But the NGC stickering system, I believe personally, is the best way to have them graded because it keeps them in their original packaging, which to me I think is a plus.
I love original packaging. It's I when you said to me that they take the soft packs and
Yeah.
they actually encapsulate them within the pack, it just did my heart good.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and if
I
you do a search on eBay, you can see them. Just type in something like GSA soft pack NGC, and you'll see examples of graded ones. I've owned a few over the years.
Hey Carlton,
What's up?
I thought it was really interesting to note about the GSA is that not only were not all the coins CCs, which a lot of people don't know, but not all the coins were uncirculated. Some of them were circulated, and in the soft packs, you can even find peace dollars. There were some peace dollars that were in the GSA horde as well, which it's a when I think of GSA horde dollars, I think the hard plastic case uncirculated Carson City silver dollar, and it might be the overwhelming majority of them, but it's nowhere near everything that was in that hoard or everything that they sold. And I always think it's interesting when there's more than meets the eye.
Yeah, and funny enough, and this is almost kind of what inspired me to cover this topic is I've just started working on a new project here at the coin store on a website called GSAdollars.com, which is going to be coming live here actually the same time as this episode, uh, where we're going to be offering original graded examples of GSA dollars for sale. So you might check it out. And the other cool thing that we're going to offer that a lot of people don't is ways to put original packaging back together. We have original mint hinge boxes, original paperwork. Yes, I'm making them. No, but we're going to offer that. So if you buy a piece that's missing the original paperwork, we have some people back when the great crackout happened saved some of that stuff. So there's actually decent amounts of it to be found. So if you want to put your coins back in original holders, it can be done. And not the hard
Uh,
plastic holders. I mean the like the original box and the original paperwork.
okay, so it's not really kind of making it the way it was when the Mint sent it to you. It's just making it more identifiable, is what it is.
Well, no, it would be the way it was sent to you from the mint, but a lot of the hard plastic cases have been separated from their original boxes and paperwork over the years. Um, so you can put it back in an original box from the hoard with the original paperwork, which, it's not, I don't frown upon that because I see it as putting the set back together. Like, say you get a proof set today that doesn't have any paperwork, and it's just like going out and finding the paperwork for it. So,
Sounds like a great idea.
yeah, and it should be fun. We plan to, like I said, we plan to make it live soon. So check it out, gsadollars.com.